Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, many of us fans have been patiently waiting for the official announcement of the title for such a long time now, and with that comes many questions as to what we may see within the game itself. Joining me here today is none other than JrzSaiyan, and today we're going to be sharing our thoughts and opinions as to what we want to see be featured in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. In particular, today we're going to be covering the Majin Class. Now, personally, for me, I would love to know your overall thoughts, JR, on a possible Majin differentiation change, because I would love to see, you know, more features be included within the Majin class, and perhaps maybe since we're throwing it around, possibly adding up a God class. Now, we did cover the Saiyan God class and the Namekian God class in the previous episodes. If you guys haven't checked it out, go on ahead and check it out down in the description below and share your thoughts on it. But again, going back to the Majin class, for me personally, this was the most hated class for me, only because when you're picking a male, you never really had an option to allow them to look like someone like Kid Buu or Super Buu. You can do that.
I hated that
character, but the male character was always, you know, like the big fat Majin Buu, and that really irked me because that class had a lot of potential. And that was a big letdown for me because I didn't want to play as the female character, only because it did resemble Kid Buu, but I wanted to make a character similar to Super Buu, nice and tall, muscular and stuff, sort of like Super Buu, Gohan absorbent stuff. So with the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, for me at least, I would like to see, you know, more included into the Majin class, because that class, to me, has the most potential amongst all of them. So my question to you is, do you think the Majin class should allow any further evolution onto the character itself? Meaning, something similar to how Majin Buu transcended into Super Buu, and then, you know, Super Buu transcended into, you know, Buff Buu before becoming Kid Buu. Do you think it ought to include a similar feature, or do you think a Majin should remain the way they are once you make them from start to finish? Do you think they ought to have different variations of transformations to where they become tall, fat, skinny, short, or do you think that they should stick by what you got by default?
You took the words right out of my mouth. So what I was gonna say is there should not be a God transformation for Majins, because we don't know exactly how that would be. That would be something completely totally new, right? And I mean, we wouldn't know how that works. So my opinion, how they should do Majins is, let's say the default is Fat Buu, right? We pick a Fat Buu, but he can transform as he gets stronger.
That could work. That could definitely work.
Or we start off with a Kid Buu, turn into a Fat Buu, or Fat Buu into a Kid Buu, into a Super Buu, because I mean Kid Buu was actually his original form.
Right. Yeah.
Until he absorbed.
He just kept absorbing people, and he changed his body. Yep.
So, and with that, I believe we should have a type of absorption kind of feature.
That was gonna be my second question, but go on.
Okay, so I don't know exactly how this will work on 1v1s. Maybe it counts as a transformation, right? Let's say
that would be very difficult actually to try to absorb somebody. That would be a fight to the death. You're gonna have to outrun the guy before he completely eats you up.
And that's why it wouldn't really work 1v1 actually trying to absorb someone that way. So in 1v1, I believe it should be like a transformation, if you get me.
Right.
Let's say you absorb the players or the characters that have already been absorbed in the actual series. So for example,
are you connecting this to Budokai 2? Because I remember in Budokai 2, you would fight someone random, but then your automatic absorption would be random as well. You would either have Vegeta, Piccolo. Remember they used to have Cell sometimes and whatnot. So are you saying that if you were to fight someone, you can either A, absorb them and gain their abilities, or B, absorb a default character and just take their traits on?
When it's 1v1, it should be a default character. Okay. When it's, let's say, 3v3, you should be able to try to absorb one of the players. Now, how awesome would that be if you absorb one of his teammates and then beat his ass with his teammates' moves?
That would be really, really good. I mean, do they take their overall features too, their clothing and stuff, or do they remain the same?
Yes, it would have to be the clothing, so it have to be something along with the clothing that can actually fit into the Super Boost character.
Many people are gonna have heart attacks once they see their other respective teammate gets absorbed and stuff. Can you imagine
you're oh, I'm sorry, but
no, go ahead, because I was gonna say can you imagine if you're playing and you just witness Super Saiyan Vegeta get swallowed up this? Imagine.
That's what I was about to say. Imagine you're fighting someone, and in the corner of your eye you see someone get enveloped.
The giant blob of pink goo. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Now, my second question that had to do with absorption was, do you think adding absorption, techniques to your characters would make a difference in a way, like absorbing other characters and gaining their appearance and abilities? I mean, that would be amazing, but would it work? I mean, in terms of online, because if you're playing campaign and stuff, I can see how it can work because I don't see like the problems in trying to incorporate what's going on in the story. But what about like online? Because when it comes to online stuff, everybody's very, very, very diverse, and everybody has like their own niche as to how they want to look and how they want to fight. So, like, the question is, if they were to add like the absorption technique, like, would that even work in the first place?
Yes, and it would be very hard. I don't want to say no. It would be very, very hard because, like I said, when it's 1v1, let's say online ranked match, you should have a default character that you could choose. Like, you know how we would press R2 and then we could choose Super Saiyan 2, or
right,
unlock potential, right? So it'd be default absorption, which would be like Goku or Vegeta or whatever character you want to absorb, you get me, of the main cast.
Okay.
So that's how it worked 1v1, and you could do that against 3v3, but I would love it.
Why can't you do the same thing on 3v3 instead of just trying to absorb the other person? Like, what about giving you the option to where you can either absorb the original cast or just absorb like the player yourself? Like, do you think that would be too much, or?
No, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, they should give you the option when it's 3v3. Either you can, I was actually about to say that, where you could just absorb the default cast, like you still have that as an option, or if you want, you can go absorb that guy over there, the one that pisses you off the most on the other team.
Okay, I mean, I Xenoverse 1 really got to me, like, especially with like the Majins, because the Majins, like,
they're all the same.
Yeah, the male character was like such a burnout because, like when I first heard about like the Majins being in the game, I was like, all right, cool, like this looks really awesome because they're incorporating a lot of Dragon Ball Hero elements, and they're incorporating Dragon Ball Online. But then when you play as these Majins, it never really at least for me, it never satisfied me because every single time I fought, I felt as if I was always on like the losing end because the Majin class wasn't just cutting it as like the Namekian class or the Saiyan class or the Frieza Klansman class. My third question is, what do you think they should do in Xenoverse 2 in terms of like making your own custom character become fat or skinny? Like, do you think that in Xenoverse 1 they limited the players by only allowing you to create a fat Majin Buu? Even though the female Buu was more toned and resembled Kid Buu, what do you think they should do in terms of appearance for like the next title for the Majin class?
Like I said, I think it should stay the same, and it should be transformations, so it's more of a push for you to become stronger, you get me? If you want to get stronger, you can, or if you want to change your appearance, you want to get smaller, you want to get buffer and taller, you got to train hard. It's more of an incentive.
So you're saying you would not include a god class, but you would also include a very vast, selection of movesets to where it could give you the advantage going up against the god.
Yes.
Okay, but why do you feel like the Boos can't be gods? Or at least it wouldn't make sense in your eyes.
Because we haven't really seen anything close to it, you get me? I mean, like I said, it would have to be something super original by the makers of the game. So it's something we don't even have like in mind. I can't think of a Majin god. I would think of an Majin absorbing a god.
That would definitely work.
So that could work. But as for a Majin actual god transformation, I mean, it's hard for my mind to put into perspective, which is where the game developers are the game developers and we're the game buyers.
No, absolutely. And again, like, if you guys enjoyed the Majin class in Xenoverse 1, comment down below and let us know, because there have been like a lot of people that I remember never using Majins that much. On occasions, you would have like a few people use them. But mainly, again, this goes back to Saiyans and, Arcosians or Frieza Klansman race members. Everybody was using them as opposed to anything else. I mean, Namekians were close, but, the humans and the Majins weren't even touched. And I feel like the Majins definitely had one of the greatest amounts of potential because they're different. I mean, they can fully regenerate. They can absorb people. They're just like, like just giant pieces of bubblegum. Like, no matter what you do, they're always going to stick. So if there's one thing you would change about the Majin class in Xenoverse 2 as opposed to Xenoverse 1, what would that change be and why? In terms of like either move sets, in terms of like stats, like what would their stats be in your opinion? Like, what would make someone want to come and choose to be a Majin over any other class?
All right, I would want to change 3 things. I don't have one thing because 3 things kind of irked me in the first one. Okay, so 1, how slow they were.
Yes.
It really bothered me how slow they were because it doesn't give you an advantage at all.
Nope.
The only thing that did give you advantage was sometimes they would have like random body armor, which like let's say you have them in a combo, all of a sudden your hits don't I guess register. Yes, yeah. I mean they're still doing damage, but it's not like when you hit someone and they flinch, so you could hit them again.
Yeah.
So they could just like in the middle of the combo, they could just hit you so they could get out the way.
Okay.
I agree with that, but they should have a certain time limit where you can see that as well, because when it's random, it's too much of a disadvantage to the opponent, and to I guess balance that out, they should increase the speed of a Majin, because he was way too damn slow.
No, you're absolutely right. Like fighting a Majin or playing as a Majin, you would always have like the disadvantage because of how slow your character was.
Yes. So another thing that I would incorporate that it was lacking in the first game was hitting, and just everything else. They were kind of like the Namekians, except they were slower.
Right.
So it was pretty much around the same stats. I think they're both in the bottom tier, except for health and stamina, I believe. Everything else, they're in the bottom tier. They need to increase all that, because if you can have a Majin shoot a purple Kamehameha, or the pink one, the Majin Kamehameha,
right,
and do damage, serious damage, like if a Saiyan shot it or a human shot it, then they want, like, you don't want to be a Majin because he's that much weaker at doing attacks. You don't want to just be hitting, you want to be doing blasts. Dragon Ball is about all these types of blasts that you can do, all these types of moves that you can do. It's not just about, you know, punching, it's about Kamehameha, final flashes.
Oh yeah, yeah, and not only that, but going back to like how Boo fought. I remember when Boo used to fight, he would eat Kamehameha waves, he would eat all these moves, and he would use his body to his advantage. He would like rip his arm off and throw it at you and stuff. Like he was doing all these crazy things.
I was about to say that the biggest advantage should be, they should be tanks.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that, I mean, they were like that the last game, so I would continue with that. Maybe implement a little bit more of absorption, like you said, shoot a Kamehameha at you, you kind of see the body kind of absorb it, and the fat kind of like blab or some flab.
Right.
That'd be pretty cool to see, the little animations. But yes, Majins need to be tanks, because that's where they kind of ruled at with their health and their defense. Because of that, they don't take as much damage. So I believe that should stay.
No, absolutely. And if you guys agree, or if you guys have any other opinion to state, just comment down below and let us know. And once again, guys, thank you all for watching. If you guys are Dragon Ball fans, don't forget to subscribe. That way you guys don't miss a single Dragon Ball update. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button, slap a like if you guys enjoyed. That way you guys always, I mean, like, this is the thing, like, I'm thinking about it, and it's just like, it irks me because I never really played as a Majin member at all. Like, I would only play as Chubbs and Friends, and that was it, and that was just for that was just for comedy purposes. So yeah, it really irks me, but I really hope they improve that, because if not, I don't think anybody's gonna select that class at all. So again, guys, if you guys agree, comment down below. If you guys disagree, comment down below and let us know why. Thank you all for watching. Once again, check out JrzSaiyan's down in the description below, guys. Once again, tune in for the next update, and we'll be seeing you all later. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.